Welcome to this video where we go through the design system story for Mo Speech, and I'm going to go through the stages that I went through to get my design system designed in Figma, variables made and exported. I'm back in Figma, and this is my design file and I've got all the screens generally laid out. It's just rough. It's just like a rough blueprint where I've got my components all laid out. It's ready to start coding. And the first thing I realized is I need to sort out the design system and get it into code and get it working. So at this stage, my primary concern is not really anything aesthetic. It's just getting a number of themes that can switch and working in code. So if we have a look at what's going on at the moment, this is the actual coded project where we have a settings page, and one of the first things I did after scaffolding it all and getting some main functionality into it, one of the first things I wanted to do was have this ability to switch themes, because if I'm building up from it, I want the architecture to be right, future-proofed. So not only can I switch themes, but I'll be able to add new ones, and the themes that I do have are going to be easy to modify into something more aesthetic. Like at the moment, this is not a great aesthetic. It just works, and that's my main aim at this point. So back into Figma, I'll show you how I did this. First, I just got all the screens sorted. This is the blueprint for my app, and I go back to the home page. And what I want is I want to test it out and see how the different themes are looking. So how I did that was I just tokenized everything. So this sidebar is using the card variable, the cards are using the card variable, the bit at the top is using the banner variable, the top bar is using a banner, and so forth. Tokenize everything. So as long as they're choosing the variables that I have made in Figma, we can make modes, we can make new modes, which I did here, and these are the variables, and as you can see, they just switch from mode to mode. So this is just a basic quick way to see your mode switching before you get it into code. So I've set this up and I can see that it's working. Like I said before, I'm not worried about aesthetics. I'm using simple Tailwind tokens that I imported from this Tailwind library. So when I do call up Claude Code and say that I'm using Tailwind Amber 500, for example, it kind of knows what that hex value is, because of the Tailwind tokens are a well-known, established way of tokenizing colors, text, and spacing and all. If we go back into the variables here, we can see basically that's what I've done. I have not only added all the themes that I wanted. Let's starting with 6, and we can go on. We can keep adding them, and this system will accept them. But further down here, I've started to create tokens for the actual padding, and I've given it really useful, human readable semantic terminology, just so when you do get it into code, you know exactly what this number's for. So we've got general padding, general space between, modal padding, large buttons padding, and so on. You've got roundness, got small roundness, So there's really, tokenizing like this just gives you more control when you want to change something. So if I come to change the roundness from 16, I find that's too big. It is quite big, and I probably will change that. All I have to do is change this variable, and all the roundness on everything that's using this variable goes down. And yeah, so those are the main ones. We've got the colors, we got the spacing, and we've got the roundness. So it's really easy to export these from Figma. Just to export modes, and it exports a JSON file of all your modes in that collection. So when coming to import it into Cursor, I have a design system folder here in my docs, and in the design system we have the themes. This is the export. So it made a zip, you unzip it, and you get every variable in the same shape. So you've got the name, the type, the value, the color, the alpha, the hex, the label, and that's for every single design token that I've just showed you. Once it's in here, kind of like ask Claude Code to convert it into variables that I can use and to have this kind of switching system. These are my 15 color tokens. So remember, semantic names, not hex values. We got the spacing tokens here, we've got the roundness, and we've got the different themes all laid out. So we're starting to get prepared. We're not just prompting, hoping. We've got a plan in mind, and we've got something really specific to give our coding agent to do. And this is how it goes from Figma to CSS. So we have the Figma variables named out just how I named them. We export them to a JSON key, which is what I just showed you from the zip, and it's exact replica but JSON format of your Figma variables. Then we're asking Claude to convert them from JSON to CSS custom properties. So when you get to the global CSS, there's kind of 3 blocks to this, and they each have different jobs. So first you have the root, and every theme variable starts here with the default theme values. This is the only block the theme context touches at runtime, and it overwrites these when a theme changes. So if you go into globals here, you can see here's the root. It's actually right at the top, and this is what our theme context is interacting with. When you change the theme, it's basically changing this. And the British tailwind is in the theme inline, and this maps every theme variable to a tailwind utility, and it names it with the var and then open parentheses and whatever it is, close parentheses, and the inline keyword is the critical part. It stops tailwind from resolving the value at build time. So go back into globals here, and you go further down, you'll see where the inline is. Okay, so this is where we're actually keeping the variable references live at runtime, and we're getting our tailwind tokens in there. Okay, so you're getting primary, and in the inline you're then calling primary into this inline variable, and that's happening for everything, all the design tokens, even the text. Then we go on to block 3, which is the font switching, and this is completely separate from theming. It's driven by data locale set by the layout, not by theme context. So this never touches the fonts. It is on a separate thing, because we're having different languages with the different fonts, and it's non-romanized, so this is another consideration that I had to take into account of. So the theme context is the runtime switcher. There's 3 moving parts to this: a catalog, a mapper, and a one-line DOM write. So if we go to theme context, it's got 6 theme objects, each containing 15 color tokens. If you go into theme context, you can see them here. This is the theme tokens. So you can see how we've got the themes clearly separated here. And it's the good thing about this is going to be really easy just to add another one, or even just to update the actual hex numbers. That loops through token to CSS map, and for each token key calls style.setProperties on the document element. So go back into theme context here. We have a function, apply to theme tokens, and then we've got the root. This updates the browser and repaints it. So all theme variables hold new values after the switch, and the utility resolves the new variable at paint time. So React never has to re-render. The CSS cascades does all the work. And here's a kind of overview of the token flow. What happens the moment the user taps a theme button. Okay, so the user, for example, taps a sky button. The theme context chooses the theme token in here. The root document on the CSS, on the global CSS, gets updated here. Here's the root. And the CSS cascades to the UI and gets changed and gets repaint instantly without React having to render anything. So, as I said earlier, one of the best things about this is it's gonna be easy to add new themes, and you can really just keep adding and adding with this one. It's it's kind of built for that. Just add them here and change them however you want. Now I've got it set up, I can concentrate more on new themes coming and getting the old themes more aesthetically pleasing. So we just fill out to add themed tokens, you just open the theme context, add new entry to the theme tokens object, use any of the 6 existing themes as a template, fill the 15 color tokens, and then you just add the buttons to your settings page, and that's it, you're done. No new CSS, no tailwind config change, no rebuild. The theme is just a data object, and apply theme tokens is already generic. So that's how it works. If we go back to here, you can see it. That's how it changes. As you can see, no refresh, it's instant, it works. And like I said, it's not pretty, but the main thing at this point is it's working. And that was my main aim of this. First, I need it to work because I need the architecture correct. There's no point in making it look amazing at this point, because you might spend a lot of time making it look right, and then you might have to completely change the architecture when you start adding different features. So I'd rather do it the other way around. Getting all the schema sorted, all these context files working, and then and then more about the kind of look is the final touches really. And with these themes, I'm going to keep adding them, and it gives me time to develop it more in my head as well. Yeah, so that's it. That's the theme switcher for MoSpeech. Thank you.